Gladiator 2 is out in theaters, but before you go and see that, I really think you guys should see Gladiator 1 because it's very, very important.
And it's good.
You damn right.
Who is he?
I'm required to kill, so I kill.
A lot of actors get this was like their breakout role. Like Russell Crowe, this was his breakout film. Djimon Hounsou, this is his breakout film. Joaquin Phoenix, this was his breakout film. This wasn't their first films, but this is the one where everyone was like, yo, you know, like, who is that? You know? And Ridley Scott is still in the game.
This movie has so many accolades. It won Best Picture also. It covers Rome. It's 180 AD. Covers the man of Maximus. He is a soldier for Caesar.
A lot of the characters here are real, or at least based on real people, but Maximus is based on a character named like Narcissus or something like that. But this is not this is not his story. This is a completely new invented story. Commodus, who was the emperor at the time, this is not how Commodus's life goes. The emperor who before him, his father, this is not how his life ended. It's history, but it's been tweaked so much, you can't really say it's based on anything.
Right. You know how Hollywood does, guys. They always have to put in their flair to be able to get you into the seats. I remember seeing it when I was a kid, and I didn't get it. I just thought it was just a bunch of wartime stuff, yelling, limbs getting cut off and stuff. And of course, you know, my mom let me see all of that.
But it's notable that you say you didn't get it, because I remember as a kid thinking, I don't get it either. I'm like, there's a lot going on here that I don't really quite understand. As an adult, though, I'm looking at it, be honest with you, it's straight up bad in the first like 40 minutes. The first 40 minutes are dull, okay? It's just everything's drawn out. And I think the reason why everything's drawn out like this is because some people confuse epic for long. And so they just draw out everything. Scenes last eons. They should have ended, 10 minutes ago, and they're still going. So the beginning of the film, it starts with Russell Crowe just looking at his troops. Russell Crowe is a general, a Roman general, and he has been tasked with getting rid of the barbarians. Now, if you know your history, you should know the Romans have already destroyed the barbarians 1,000 times over, and they already rule most of Europe. So you're like, what is this about? And that ends up being very important later, that these wars are for nothing. But the opening scene is Maximus looking at his soldiers and being like, you guys look good. That lasted like 15 minutes, dog. Or he's just like, they look strong. Right. Yes. Victory. It's on the horizon. Yes.
Will they fight, sir?
We shall know soon enough.
Petting the dog.
Just like, damn, bro, let's go. Let's go. And then when the fight happens, the fight I think is genuinely good. It's interesting because the whole fight happens on a hill. So when people die, they like roll down this hill. It's pretty cool.
Right.
But after the fight, no one's impressed. And this is another thing where you're like, what? Which is when you realize that the current emperor, he just loves war. And he loves war because the people love war. They love to see that Rome is powerful and that Rome's reach is far. And so they're fighting people that really they could beat like instantaneously. But they're just doing it because it looks great.
There's no one left to fight, sir. There's always someone left to fight.
And this is something that the Emperor's son learns really well. That goes down deep. The people love violence. So he's like, okay, if I bring them violence, they will bring me glory. Yes, that's right. They'll love me. So let's do it. So his plan is already in motion. And when I think back at it, it's like a really well-made film. It's a great film. But those first 45 minutes are so boring.
But the thing is, without those 45 minutes, you do not see the hero's journey, the hero's struggle.
Right. It's not until the betrayal happens that the movie
That's what I was about to say.
Starts properly. And it's even hard to even talk about the film that first 45 minutes because it feels like nothing's happening.
Exactly. When Caesar was talking to Maximus after the battle, and he's basically saying like, you know what, I passed down all of my power to you, and then Maximus is like, what about your son? He's like, my son's a dipshit. So
when you think about how he's introduced, he's lounging, he's laying down, right? First, we see this big war. It's a great, awesome centerpiece. He's rolling down the hill. And then it cuts to Commodus lounging. He's laying down, eating grapes or some shit, talking with his sister, and he is way too close. He is kissing their hand. Wow. He's like
Disgusting.
face to face like this. There's an incestual thing going on here between these two. Not quite how you think.
Not what she wants.
But it's there, right? But yes, Joaquin Phoenix's character Commodus is a joke. He is a loser. He has won nothing. He's done nothing, but he loves to adorn himself in all the Roman jewels. He likes to wear the uniform. You know, he likes to look strong. We even see him fighting, like play fighting or practicing earlier. So we know he's athletic. So in his mind, he is the alpha man, the ultimate, the greatest. He's a great fighter. God damn, he's good looking. And what else do you need? He's the perfect next emperor. What else do you need? Books? No. Learning? No. The Senate? No. As you said, the emperor sees Commodus as an idiot, and he's like, Maximus, we need to give everything back to the people. My lineage is done. Okay, my son is an idiot. I'm gonna pass my powers onto my greatest general, you, Maximus. And Maximus is like, no, I don't want that.
I want to go home.
Didn't you hear me say that I want to go home? It's the only thing I've ever wanted. Which is a hint that maybe being a general is very similar to being a slave. He is at the emperor's beck and call. When the emperor says you fight, goddammit. And the emperor wants him to fight. Yep. And he has not been home. He is not in control of his life. And he's like, I thought this was the last
4 months and a morning.
Yeah, he's like, I want to go home. I'm a farmer, okay? I know I'm good at this general thing. I know. I'm pretty fire. But I want to go home, okay? And I don't want to be the emperor.
When, Caesar ends up telling Commodus, I don't want you to be my heir. Yeah. I'm gonna pass that down to Maximus. He was like a big old baby, like, you don't love me. So he basically chokes his daddy out.
Yeah,
and he says, my father has passed away, and then Maximus is like, nah, right. Something's going on. Commodus was just like, hey, seize him, capture him. Go take him out into the woods and kill him. And even his right hand general was like, yeah, your wife and son will be slaughtered too. Sorry.
Right.
And
they'll meet you in the afterlife. He's like, what?
that was the cut.
Yeah.
That was the cut. That was a funny cut too. They'll meet you in the afterlife. He's like, and then cut.
Your family will meet you in the afterlife.
He may be a farmer, but just like you said, I'm good at this general stuff.
Yeah, he cold at this shit now. He cold now.
So he took out those dudes that was gonna, kill him. But then he tries to get back to his house before the assassins get there, and it's too late. They hang and burn his son and his wife. Shoot, no, they ran over his son first with the horse. That was nuts.
But unfortunately or fortunately, it does lead to my favorite shot of the film. It's a dark humor, okay? His kid is hanging, okay, and his wife is hanging, and their feet are dangling, and he's like, oh, and he's grabbing their legs, but he touches them with his nose, and there's just like a snot string that comes off.
Snot strings.
A horror.
I said to Ridley, when we get around to doing this thing with the wife and son, that's going to be full snot, And he said, what does that mean? It was a pair of feet nailed to a board. And he said, and just hit that mark because I've got this nice lighting state there. And I said, oh no, man, I've got to go and see it.
Oh man, you need a boogie napkin, boy.
Oh my God.
But after that, just some random people come and just scoop him up, put him in this carriage, and he's getting whisked away. And then that's where he finds out that he has been put into gladiator slavery. The leader of this gladiator slavery group is Proximus.
Proximo, right? Yeah.
Proximo, not Proximus, sorry.
Right. That's a different movie.
I know, right?
What a wonderful day.
Proximo is played by the late Oliver Reed.
When he died during production, they either had to reshoot his scenes or cut them off. And Ridley Scott, wisely, because he's got this special effects background, was like, what if we just do a face replacement on an actor? And this was like one of the first well-known face replacements. They've been doing this every once in a while for like stunts and stuff like that, but the face is usually stoic, and but this time the whole character, their face was replaced, and you can kind of tell later in the film. But honestly, to be blunt, I thought it was freaking seamless. I thought they did a really good job of you not being able to notice that Proximo was essentially not there. Back then, this was considered like a CGI extravaganza. But by today's standards, it's pretty moderate with CGI. You know what I mean?
Very, very much so. Like all of the background that you see, the Coliseum and stuff like that, that's the CGI stuff. But everything that's closer to the camera
is real.
That's all made and real. And they don't do that nowadays.
and to me, this is how I think special effects should be. In the background, okay? People won't notice it. You know what I mean? Like in the background.
Right.
But when you put it in the foreground, your eye starts to criticize a bit, you know? But again, this movie does use a lot of effects, but most of the effects are practical. And this becomes so impressive in the film because the film shows these really large scale battles and it's just full of extras. Just thousands of extras.
Thousands.
And even for the Coliseum, while the whole Coliseum obviously was not full, the parts they showed had extras in the stands. And I just think that's there's a texture to the film that when you know that that's a real human right there, that adds something to the film. You know what I mean?
A lot of the most famous line that's in this, "Are you not entertained?" Right? But back then when I watched it, I thought he was just like, "Yeah, I'm the man. Are you not entertained?" That's what I thought. But as I watch it today with, adult eyes, he's actually saying, "Are you not entertained?" in that type of tone. And like, do you not? Why do you like this bullshit?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, "What is wrong with you?"
Are you not entertained?
You Rome, y'all are sick. The whole empire is sick. The Commodus, the leader, is sick. You guys are gross for liking this. And this is the point of the film. Commodus believes that in order to be a great leader, you've got to give the people what they want, right? And the people want blood. So he's like, I will give it to them. I'll give them rivers of blood. And a senator was like, yo, Commodus is onto something now. He actually might know the people better than you might think because he gives them blood and they will give him love.
I think he knows what Rome is. Rome is the mob. You conjure magic for them and they'll be distracted. We take away their freedom and still they'll roar.
It feels very profound with modern politics.
It feels profound in modern politics, modern entertainment. The bad things could be happening around us in our life, but as we got TikTok, baby, we got our entertainment right here.
Right.
Message. They go from the mud and the dirts, fighting, has-beens and stuff out there, to fighting the elite.
Well, first of all, I think it's important to note that Maximus is surprised and horrified that he's very good at being a gladiator. And from his perspective, there really is no difference. Again, he can't go home, just like he was when he was a general. He has to answer to some head honcho, and he has to kill. Commodus is shocked. He's like, yo, they like this gladiator dude more than me. And he tries to approach it nicely. He's like, look, I will show up to the next fight in person. I'll even bring my nephew, who's a big fan of Maximus, so we can get down to the Coliseum floor and say hello. He's trying to be reasonable. Russell Crowe, on the other hand, is like, I'm about to kill this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Come on, get close. But in order to get close, I have to hide my face because he's going to recognize me. So he grabs a mask and puts it on. And it's the only full face mask I could see out of the little row there. And of course, it's his iconic mask. And it's a mask that is copied by MF Doom, or was copied by MF Doom. Again, through modern eyes, this film is almost set up like a superhero film where he is like slowly accumulating pieces of his uniform. Proximo is like, here, use this to protect yourself. And it's like the little thing on his chest, And then he's like, I gotta hide my face, gotta hide my identity. So he puts on a helmet and he's essentially like a superhero. Commodus's nephew, he really reacts strongly to this.
The face that he made when that helmet came off was like this. He was like, huh.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions.
And then in being Commodus as a loose cannon, a narcissist, a person that is me first, you really don't know what he's going to do next.
Right.
Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance.
in this life or the next.
But Commodus is also a populist. He wants the people to love him. So if the people say, merciful, 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 he says, oh yeah, merciful.
Yeah.
If the people say kill, 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 he's like, oh yeah, kill, 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 you know? But what do you do here when this guy straight up insulted you right to your face? And he's like, oh, I'm about to kill this motherfucker. But the people want him to live. He's like, what? So he lets Maximus live, only to plot against him throughout the rest of the film.
And then you have, you know, his sister, Lucia. She is terrified of the fact that she knows her son is the heir to the throne.
Yeah.
And what Commodus will do.
Right.
You know, she tries to hatch a plan with the Senate to be able to get him taken out.
When I was a kid, I just thought they were gross. Like, this is nasty. But as an adult, I can see what this is. And it's essentially the threat of rape. You know what I mean? He's more or less saying,
yes,
I can do whatever I want because I'm the emperor now. If I want to touch you, you've been touched, okay? If I want to stick my finger right in your mouth, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right. And it just gets so disturbing and so awful, you know what I mean? So that he can produce perfect heirs. And their perfect, pure-blooded heirs could rule for 1,000 years. They try to overthrow Commodus, but Commodus is unfortunately smart. And he catches on to the plan. Yeah. It's important to note that even though Commodus was doing all this effed up stuff and more or less promised to rape his sister, he expected his sister to be like, thank you. And he was surprised when she was disgusted. And he was like, what the hell? I thought you were going to love me now.
Am I not merciful?
Yeah, exactly. Am I not merciful?
Am I not merciful?
And apparently in the real world, Commodus was not too dissimilar. He really was a vain person, and he really did fight in the Colosseum, and he really did begin the end of Rome. He ignored the Senate in the real world. Eventually, the Senate got dissolved, and he is considered to be the beginning of the end of the Roman Empire. And I think that's fascinating, and a lot of that is present in this film.
He's like, you know, I'm gonna give the people what they want. They want to have their merciful Maximus, their gladiator here. I'm gonna prove to the people that I can fight.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I gotta do this myself. I've sent the tigers. I've sent the barbarians. I've sent every thief, every killer I got. I sent a whole horde of trained soldiers to kill Maximus, and Maximus still comes out fine. All right, I'm gonna do this myself. They capture Maximus, they tie him up, and Joaquin Phoenix is like, I'm going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you later. I'm going to kill you right now. Bop, bop, bop. And then he puts on all his armor. And so essentially, Maximus is a dead man walking in the final scene.
Like, do you know what the coldest part about that is? Everyone enjoyed and loved Maximus, right? So when he died, the little boy, Lucius, come out. The mother came out. And by this time, Commodus is already dead. And Lucia has a speech to everyone, basically saying, you know, Rome is in your hands now, to the people. And they lift up Maximus, and they all leave, and they leave Commodus body right there on the freaking floor. I enjoyed this film a lot, and I enjoyed this film through adult eyes now.
Personally, I found that I did like this film, but I did not connect with it in the way I thought I would. And I did not connect with it in the same way I did as a kid. It's a shame that the actor who played Lucius is not the main actor in Gladiator 2, but this does get me excited to watch Gladiator 2.
That's exactly how I feel about this film too. But more importantly, how do you feel about this film? Get in the comments and let us know what you thought about Gladiator. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. You guys are continuing to run up these numbers, and you are continuing to talk to us in the comments. So if you want to be on that train with us and it's your first time seeing us, get down to the subscribe button and hit that, all right?
Right there.
We are here for you. And if you did like this review for this old timey film, 24 years.
Old timey.
Fast.
Damn, okay.
Please hit that thumbs up.
This is not an old timey film.
Or you can hit the thumbs down, whichever you choose. It is your opinion, but just remember one thing: it is mostly wrong.